Hello, my little fluffs. Mewtwo here with you today. Still feeling a little witchy. Did manage to get the hat off, so that's a good thing. But today we're going to have a little story time. Story time, yay! Anyway, today's story time is going to be about food-related jobs I've had. I know, silly me. Why would I have food-related jobs? Well, first off, that's the first job that hired me when I was in college. It was a food place. So, let's start back then. 1999. I got hired and I was working at the Duquesne University Dining Services. So, going to Duquesne University, but I got hired to work at it. Well, I was going to a different college. Okay. So, I lived just outside of Pittsburgh in a Green Tree area. For anyone who's from Pittsburgh, you probably know where that is. And I worked in Duquesne University, which was in Pittsburgh, downtownish area. Up towards Oakland, but not quite up that far. Quite a walk from my bus stop downtown, too, so kind of annoying. I started off working out at the Haagen-Dazs ice cream cart out by the soccer field, which was actually pretty cool and lonely, because I would spend like almost all day, all my evening by myself out there by an ice cream cart. And not too many people were in the mood to buy like this expensive ice cream. Granted, all the kids that were there were kind of rich kids mostly, but most of them didn't have actual money. They had their dining service cards. I only was able to take cash out there, and no SNAP credits or anything. It was just dollar bills, yo. But I was pretty good at scooping ice cream. I was always made everybody happy when they bought stuff. And because I was left out there by myself, big secret, I snuck ice cream. And oh my glob, I learned that job how awesome real quality ice cream was compared to the stuff I'd grown up with. I did not know my parents did not give me good ice cream. I just assumed ice cream was ice cream. Oh no, son. Haagen-Dazs, good stuff. So I learned a lot of good flavors when I was there, and yeah, that wasn't too bad. Now, I couldn't do that all winter long because that would be silly. They didn't want to fire me, fortunately. They moved me inside. I started work in their downstairs section, was called the off-ramp. Silly Pittsburghese names. But hey, it was the basement of the dining building. It had a couple of different sections. There was a sandwich section with like a big grill to grill sandwiches on, and a pizza section where they actually made pizzas. They legit made them. There was dough, and it turned into pizza. It wasn't like they stuck a bunch of DiGiorno's in an oven and called it cooking. And all that food was actually pretty darn tasty. One of the benefits of working at food, oftentimes you get a free food. In this place, I got a free meal every day. Sometimes two. Even when I was working the ice cream cart, I would still be able to come down to the off-ramp, some pizza or a sandwich and some fries or something like that. Most of the time I got the pizza because I was a college student, and at that point, pizza was still like the epitome of all food that was. And, my meal credit, I got a drink, 2 slices of pizza, and some breadsticks. I was set. I was in the Flint. Now, when I started to work down there, they'd switch me around to whatever was necessary. So sometimes I'd work pizza side, sometimes I'd work sandwich side. They were actually the opposite sides of the room, so definitely a split up. No matter which side you worked at, you ate the other side. It wasn't that you weren't allowed to. You spend 5 hours smelling pizza, You don't want to eat pizza. You want to eat anything else and not smell pizza again for the rest of the day. I don't know how people who deliver pizza survive and never want to eat pizza again because your car probably smells like it constantly. You would probably be stuck with that smell for months even after you stop the job. Uh, so, yeah. Either way, switch. And after a while, I moved up to the fifth floor, which was called Options. And I liked working at Options because I had choices. But one of the biggest reasons I got to move up there was because it was still winter, and they wanted to have the ice cream cart open, but they couldn't have it outside. There was no place down the off-ramp to put it. But up yonder in Options Cafe, they had a spot. Um, Problem being, it was one of those carts with a pop-up roof that's slooped up to go nice and high, so you could see people under the roof. The roof couldn't go up there. There was no space. um, that's okay, though. You could still get to the ice cream container underneath. People just ordered from the side. It wasn't like I was out in the field. I was next to a cash register. Um, now it's with a cash register with card options. So people could use snack credits or flex money or any of that stuff where they didn't have to have actual cash, which was a good thing. But it wasn't really popular because it was still expensive as all poot. But hey, at least meant I moved up to a better floor. This floor had options. There was a grill station with like burgers and chicken sandwiches and stuff. There was a wrap station with all sorts of food you'd put in a wrap. And then there was like the home cooking section, which had usually something like turkey or roast beef and vegetables and stuffing and stuff. Almost every day there was stuffing. This is bad for me because by the time we'd be eating our lunch break, they're going to have to get rid of all of the stuff that's sitting there. I ate a lot of stuffing. Not going to lie, no matter what I had as my main course that day, I had stuffing with it. And we got to go back and serve ourselves, so yay! Not often did I get to work on any of the actual food stations. Usually I was out with my ice cream cart and my cash register and washing tables. But every once in a while I got to help out at one of the other locations if someone was, sick or whatever. Not a bad thing. It gave me a little variety. There's also a salad bar too. That was disgusting. That was a mess. Those college kids just, they're a mess. um, but that was self-service, so nobody had to stand there and fix that for them. The yucky thing was every day we'd clean out the salad bar and wash off the decorative kale to put out the next day as more decorative kale. No one ate this stuff. It was actually legit decorations, but it felt weird washing off disgusting lettuce to put back out as decorative disgusting lettuce again. So I worked at that job for, I think it was about a year and a half while I was in college, at the beginning of my time there. I moved over to working in the college. It's my actual college in the um, waste management department. It actually was a good gig, so I can complain about that. Uh, one of the laziest jobs I've ever done. I spent so much time surfing the internet and like twice an evening emptying trash cans. It was awesome. So, after that, I had a job in a data center for a while as a tape monkey with theoretical chance to move up. But as I saw the people ahead of me with their chance to move up, meaning I was actually rungs below all of them, they'd been tape monkeys for 5 years, I looked at other options because I was not going to spend 5 years as a tape monkey with the opportunity to move up to guy who tells the tape monkey what to do, or well, at least sends the programs out to tell the tape monkeys what to do. And several times I was there, instead of someone getting promoted, they hired from outside for someone to fill one of those positions. Yeah. But don't want to talk too much about that job, because the next step is I want to talk about my other food job. This one's a lot more interesting. So I got hired by a friend of mine who was the kind of chef manager at a cafeteria in a health insurance company's building. And I was now one of 3 employees under him at a cafeteria type situation, and I was the breakfast cook. This is actually a pretty cool gig. One, as far as food service goes, it is awesome to have a job that is Monday through Friday. 2, fixed schedule, because we would be there to serve breakfast and lunch and nothing else, because these employees in this building would not be there for dinner. So, set Monday through Friday, early schedule. Probably one of the worst parts is I had to get up at like 4 a.m. for this job. But I was home by like 2, something like that. Long commute, but not bad job. I liked being my on-display cook. We did serve things like breakfast sandwiches and stuff that were all assemble the thing, put the meat, cheese, and egg in a bread product of their choice, and hand it to them. Anytime I was not there for any reason, they would just, that's all they would serve, and they'd actually pre-make them. So it'd just be like steam trays full of pre-assembled breakfast sandwiches. Now, anytime I was there, I had my 2 induction cookers out. I had my big nonstick skillets on each one, and I was display omelet guy. Yeah, I still made some of the sandwiches here and there, but most of the time, people wanted fun stuff, so I was making eggs. We'd have special like French toast sticks or waffles or something. Do my best to have fun with that job. I enjoyed myself. And after I was done cooking breakfast, I would help set up for lunch and help cook and serve lunch. I was also kept that same spot where I was standing and served up whatever the main course was. It was actually really fun. Unfortunately, that building started to downsize its employee headcount. Not us, but the actual place we were servicing. It was not open to the public, so since there was less potential servables, I got laid off because I was lowest man on the totem pole. That stunk, because I had just moved out where I was and was paying more for my apartment. Not by choice. That's a long story in itself. But yeah, I had just been set up with being in an apartment. I had to go look for another job. Not good times. Not good times at all. But hey, it was fun working there. I enjoyed cooking. I learned a lot about stuff. I learned a lot of cool things to make. I also learned a lot more about how if you're cooking as a job, you don't necessarily cook something with all of these specific skills and love that a home cook would put in. Effectively, say you want to cook a roast or something, you might end up taking an hour or 2 to make this wonderful dinner for your family, where you cook the food, you cut it, season it, and heat the oven, and bake it slowly, and take time to mash the taters by hand or whatever. That wouldn't be a good option if you're trying to serve people quickly. Efficiency being a major part of that sort of a food situation. So I learned a lot about ways to make food happen more efficiently, things you can do ahead of time that won't affect a flavor, like having pasta, just plain blank pasta, already cooked, it actually can heat up really easily, in a frying pan with a sauce, like on the spot, boom, and be able to serve it. I've used a lot of these skills in my day-to-day life, so I feel like it's actually benefited me. Not just in the sense that I've learned what it's like to deal with Joe Public um, as a frontline customer service type employee in person, uh, but it did actually teach me some valuable, useful skills. Um, so, yeah, I was already an okay cook by that time, but I was a lot better cook afterwards. I learned a lot more things. I learned a lot of new tricks, and it was around that time I came out of the closet too. So it was a great time for me. So that's a little story about my food type jobs. Everything else has been either retail or um, what I do now. So yeah, and uh, the facilities job at my college that I kind of past mentioned, and the tape monkey job I past mentioned in there too. So yeah, I've led an interesting life. I've been at this job currently for like almost 15 years right now. I get my 15 this next year, so more PTO, yay! And I don't plan to go back to food service anytime soon, unless I get laid off, in which case, some food time. Anyway, have any of you had any good food service job that you really enjoyed? Let me know in the comments. Um, I'm always intrigued. Uh, Definitely want to thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, that little dingly bell. Or when you hit the dingly bell, um, it lets you know when I post a new video. And hey, you never know. Might be Mewtwo. It might be Mewtwo. I just recorded 3 videos in him tonight, one of which I'm putting up tonight. Not this one. So, you never know when it's going to show up. Uh, anyway, definitely thank you for spending some time with me. Thank you especially to my Patreons. Link in the description below if you're interested in becoming one and supporting the channel. I always appreciate that. For now, I really appreciate all my viewers, everyone who's taken time to listen to this, especially all the way to the end here. And I will hope to see you and tickle your fancy again real soon. Be good, little Pokemons. I'm watching.